Buongiorno, everyone. Welcome back to the Magpie Channel podcast. We're here, Anarchy Brewery, live, a little bit early for the first time ever. We're here, twiddling with thumbs, trying to not smash the beers in and neck them off and stuff. So I thought, you know what it is? We'll start 10, 15 minutes early for you lot.
We'll get in early and then we'll have some technical difficulties with the tripod.
Sure, yeah. We should have been live 5-10 minutes ago, but the tripod decided to cave in. So hopefully the camera doesn't fall off it and smash all over the floor. If it does, at least we've got some delightful beers here to drown our sorrows. What we've got? Mystery cans.
Black label, unreleased exclusives.
In the nose.
Got the Hellraiser on the front there. It's stuck to the laptop, so I'm not going to try and break it.
Oh,
but
there is
logo.
the Hellraiser.
The logo around these black label cans at the moment. What
Delightful
was
stuff.
Hellraiser IPA, I believe.
It is a 4.8% IPA.
We'll give that a little crack
Give
open.
that a blast. This should be available very soon.
Then in the second half of the show, we've got Volume 2 of Skin Deep.
Volume 2.
From Brick Club Tattoo in Morpeth. Shout out Laura from Brick Club. That is the second version, new recipe. She has had one out before. But yeah, a new one, Volume 2. So we'll look forward to getting that cracked open in the second half. But for now, we're going Hellraiser, baby.
Hellraiser. Raising some hell.
And,
on a Tuesday
obviously,
night.
we haven't had these before, so if they're shit, then sorry, Anarchy.
But we will give it a true, honest review as always, But if anything else is to go by the previous 217 cans of Anarchy I've had and all the different flavours,
Gone wrong.
then you cannot whack it. But we're not here just to review beers. We are here to review Newcastle United's transfer window, lack of it, pre-season, and all other things Newcastle news. And as always, there is loads to talk about. And get your comments, questions, all of that in the chat. Shout out you who are listening live, watching live on YouTube. Please do subscribe and give us a like. And thanks to everyone that listens back on Spotify, Apple, all those audio platforms. Cake, hello. You're going to start us off on your thoughts on Eddie Howe's interview last Friday. I've done a couple of videos on it. What did you make of it? Will he stay at the tune?
Yes, I believe he will. I think people are, again, as they always do on social media, blowing it out of proportion. I think it looks worse when you read it. I think particularly I don't know if you've seen the BBC interview with Matty Raisbeck that they've done. I didn't actually even watch all of the Toon one, but I did watch the BBC one. But I think Keith maybe posted the first snippet of it, just in words. And when you read it, it sounds like he's non-committal. But no, I think when you watch the videos, I think people are blowing it out of proportion. Like I say, it's a worse read than it is when he's saying it. I feel like he is committed. He loves the club. He pretty much did dismiss England. I think he is absolutely committed to the club. But what people are jumping on the high horses about is when he said, as long as they're committed to me, and as long as I've still kind of got control over things. I think that's what people are jumping on the high horses about. But I don't think he meant that in a negative way. I don't think he means if I didn't have the power, then I'm out. I don't think that's how it meant, even if it maybe has come across that way. Obviously, people can say things that they didn't quite mean or can be misinterpreted to mean something else. But no, I think he is absolutely fully committed. I think it's going to take the FA a lot of money to get him out of his Newcastle contract. I think he's happy as Larry here.
Happy as Larry.
As he said, we've got a lot of work to do, and he's not going to be happy until he brings us fans a trophy. And I believe that. Absolutely do believe that. That is one of the first things that he said when he signed here. And I believe that is the mission statement. And I believe that he's going to probably consider himself a failure if he walks out of St. James's Park without a trophy. Even if it's just the one, even if it's the Carabao Cup, say next year, and he moves to the England job in 2026, for example, I think he'll be okay with that. But again, as we said a few weeks ago, it's kind of like a part-time job, and he's just a workaholic, a football addict, a coaching addict, tactics and new things. He's always working. He cannot settle. He never rests. He
hates a holiday.
He works, doesn't sleep, hates his family, but
hates his dogs.
But someone said that he has committed his future up here because he did live in a hotel for the first few months. And his family lived down south. He didn't move them up, but now they're up here. They've got a house. They're settled. So I think him and his family are happy. It makes sense for them to remain here for the time being. I think having just committed their future, moving back down to bloody London or something's going to be very barley. I mean, his wife's going to be, away, man, Edward. Just that he spent thousands of pounds to move up here, man. So now I don't think he's going anywhere. And I think some of the comments that I've seen have been blown out of proportion.
Well, he did say things like, we need to set boundaries. That's why people were raising their eyebrows. And speaking of a few people that were out there in Germany, the written press, they were saying it was the most awkward and uncomfortable, time they've ever spent with Eddie Howe. The way he was talking, the way he was acting, they were getting Rafa vibes when he was pissed off at Mike Ashley.
I think
sensationalised that.
Yeah, I think it can be like misread. Maybe I think people are maybe looking for that. Like people are probably going to Germany thinking, "Oh, Eddie Howe,
England
job's there. Like let's read his body language. Let's
let's wind him up.
Let's psychologize the shit out of this.
Spit in his coffee.
But yeah,
Jaffa cake.
Oh, kind of fucking my draft. Yeah, I think people are just sensationalizing it a little bit. Even what was it that he said? I've been you threw us off with a Jaffa cake crack.
I want some Jaffa cakes now. We'll get some on the way home, mate, didn't we?
We'll stop by the garage.
Garage.
But yeah, he has committed his future. What was it you said? What was the question?
Has it been sensationalized about him saying we need to set boundaries?
Yeah,
and the media saying it was a really uncomfortable and awkward meeting.
Yeah, that's the point.
Not something you'd normally associate with Eddie Howe things.
That's the point I was getting on to. Yeah, I think it has been kind of taken out of context in that way. People are probably going to think that they're going to read his body language and think he's going to be off, or his character or his attitude's off than usual. I think he might have just had a bad day and not putting two and two together. But from what I think is that he said in the interview, he's not a phone guy. He's not a social media guy, so he doesn't see these rumors.
That was bollocks.
I don't think that it is.
Not the phone guy, but he's in Adidas headquarters, and the players are watching Sky Sports on TV, and he's trying to tell me he doesn't know he's linked with England.
Well, that's where it's come from. But a lot of players, for example, that are on social media, they'll say all these things before it hits the news and about themselves. I don't think Eddie Howe will. I don't believe he's that kind of guy. He's too busy focusing on the tactics, man. He's too busy working. He hasn't got time to be playing on fucking Twitter.
He doesn't. He strikes me as someone who, we know in his spare time he plays the piano. He's trying to learn that, isn't he? He was saying in the press conference a few months ago. For me, Eddie Howe is not one to sit there and be watching TV. If he's not working, he'll be reading a book or literally watching a football match. That's the only thing. He's not watching Bernie Standers or and binging Kin on Netflix out there. He's watching football, or he's probably reading a book about football, reading a biography from someone about football.
Yeah, trying to be the next Beethoven.
Everything's football. And doing Beethoven and picking up his dog's poo-poo. Let's hope he's picking up anyways. Taking a poo bag with Eddie across the old Leisure Park and that. But listen, I think it probably has been exaggerated a bit. Like you say, they've got to look for a story. They've got to create that media storm. And, well, they certainly did that, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. But no, I'm not reading too much into it. I think, obviously, I don't know the guy personally, and maybe it's kind of coming from a biased standpoint, more of a I hope so standpoint. I hope he stays, but I really do believe that he will. I think he's honest in what he says about wanting to win a trophy, not being happy until he does. So, yeah, obviously the England job's going to be flattering. Yes, there's going to be interest from both parties. I'm sure England probably know fine well that he's the best English manager out there. So there's going to be interest from their part. And as an English manager, the England job's kind of like the creme de la creme, isn't it? It's a
creme brulee.
It is. It's a big job. So, of course, there's going to be interest from his side of the things as well. But I think it's going to take a lot. Like I say, I think the FA is going to have to pay a big fine, a big kind of compensation fee to Newcastle to get him out. Eddie Howe's going to want to move, sign the contract. So I think there's a lot of work to be done in that sense. One that's probably going to be a lot harder work than just, say, getting a Graham Potter who's a free agent. So,
exactly. That's a much easier option. But we keep saying, he loves the day-to-day. He's got unfinished business at Newcastle. He wants to win a trophy. Maybe he'll take the England job in a few years. There's no to suggest that the England job will be there in a few years. What happens if someone who comes in?
Well,
Southgate was there for fucking 8 years.
But
what happens if Eddie Howe starts having a bit of a nightmare? He had spells last season where there was certain groups of the fan base and media putting pressure on him, not from us, but we're seeing it. And you'll see it again. Newcastle don't get off a good start of the season. 10, 12 games in, people will be saying, Eddie Howe's going to be ruthless now. Amanda's not there to cover his back anymore. So is it one of them ones where he thinks this opportunity might never come again?
There is that aspect of it. Of course, the opportunities don't come around every so often. And when I say I believe you'll take it in a few years, I don't mean a few short years. I don't mean 26, 28 or 30.
Right.
I mean, like late on in his career, like when he's kind of
10
like
years,
in his
12
60s
years.
or something. Was he now? He's only like 46 or something like that.
I think,
So
aye.
15 years maybe. Aye, that's what I'm saying. And by a few years, I don't mean like the next World Cup.
When he's got a few Champions Leagues under his belt.
Yeah, once he's kind of conquered club
won the treble.
Whether that's with Newcastle or not, like I think he might get, like if the England job, whoever the next manager is, if they have some success, then obviously Eddie Howe might win a cup, get a big job, say fucking Man City or whatever, to replace Pochettino for argument's sake. Like if he could go there, win a shit ton of trophies, then the England job could come up when he's like 59 years old. He's conquered club football. Why not? Like, yeah, that could be the next step. So I think that's kind of like the progress of his overall career pre-retirement, which for Christ's sake is only 46 years old. Like, I'm not saying like, I'm not trying to plan out his entire life from here and you're going to die when you're 82. Like I'm not trying to like plan that far ahead. But yeah, obviously it is an interesting job, a dream job for any English manager. So of course there's interest. But yeah, maybe he's rejecting it now. Things might not go well, say, touch wood, like things that when Newcastle fall down the pan and his career kind of spirals down from where he's at now. This is the peak of his career. And then when the England job comes up in, say, 2030, 2032, the FA he might not even be in the conversation anymore. He might be like fucking Steve McLaren or something like that. Like, so, you know what I mean? Like, so, yeah, there is that kind of get it now or always regret it for the rest of your life. Or just kind of continue what you're doing, make sure you succeed in club football, continue to be the best English manager for the next 10, 15 years, and your time will come.
I agree with you. I do think he will stay as Newcastle manager, and obviously the overriding part of that outburst, you're going to call it that, on Friday to the media, was seeking reassurances, if you like, over the power at the club. Because now there's been such a restructure of the hierarchy. Who says what? Who gets the final decision? Apparently since then, the club have had meetings with him, hold and clear the air talks, and have said, you've still got the power, Eddie, you've still got the final say on transfers, incomings, outgoings. So with that in mind, that should settle him down. But do you think that should be the case, Kate? Should he be given final say? Or now that we've got a really highly thought after, experienced sporting director in Paul Mitchell, who's had a great success of signing players across several clubs, should it be down to him, or should Eddie still be the man?
I think there's kind of got to be like an alignment, and I think that's a key word in this whole organisation, this whole kind of off-season. I think that them two need to collaborate well, communicate well, and figure out the best thing for the club. But for me, I like the idea of the head coach / manager having the final say, because for me, as a bit of an old school enthusiast, for me, football managers are dead. They're an extinct breed. Everyone now is a head coach because there's far too much power from the powers that be, like your Mike Ashley's. Mike Ashley didn't want any final say. It was all up to him. Your Todd Bowleys, your Glazers, like every owner, as well as like the chief executives or director of footballs or whatever, like they have the final say. So at the end of the day, head coaches are pretty much PE teachers at this point. You train them on the midweek, you pick the team like you're playing fucking FIFA. You make the subs, that's it. So I like your Arsene Wengers and your Fergies. So I think the best case scenario is that Eddie Howe and Paul Mitchell work in sync like Alex Ferguson and David Gill. I think they were a phenomenal partnership, but Fergie ultimately had the say. He knew exactly who he wanted, and it should be that way. That's why I still like the old school, because at the end of the day, they are the ones that put the practice into us. They're the ones that make the tactics, they do the training every day, they pick the team, they make the subs. Like, it should come from the manager. The manager should be comfortable with his group of players and should be hand-selected. But obviously, Paul Mitchell's got a job to do as well. It kind of just be like him going, oh, Paul, go and sign him, will you? like Paul Mitchell has to have his say as well. So, yeah, they've got to work together, have an alignment, know exactly the future that the club needs to have, the players that Eddie needs. Like I say, he picks the teams. I don't really think it's up to Paul Mitchell, but as long as he's like the chief negotiator, like that's what Fergie used to do back in the day. Fergie used to identify his people, and David Gill was such a strong power that he could just hop on a flight and wouldn't come back until he had a signature. Like Lee Charnley's of the world, and the other guy whose name I keep forgetting from Man United, Ed Woodward. Like, them two were fucking hopeless. Just guys that should not have been in their position of power. But for me, if Howe and Mitchell can be Fergie and Gill, look at what they've done together over a 10, 15-year period at Man United. Like, look at the success that they had. And I think it's down to that. Like, people above the manager just have far too much control. Yeah, and that's why managers keep falling out and leaving the club or getting fired, because they want so much. Like Rafa. Like, Rafa should have been our manager now, today. But Mike Ashley thought, he want too much control. He fuck off.
He want to spend some money there?
Absolutely not. How did I finish? So, no, I like the idea of Eddie Howe or the head coach, whether he gets the England job and the next manager. I like managers having control and say over transfers. I do. Because
you're right, ultimately, it falls on their shoulders, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. You know, they're the ones that will get fired.
Well, exactly.
If things don't go well, the head coach gets sacked. So it's like, whoa, I didn't fucking sign them. Yeah, you're giving me shit. What do you want us to do?
That's why they deserve to have that final say for me, because if it comes down to it, it's not going to be really Mitchell getting much spotlight or blame on a Monday Night Football or a match of the day. They'll be thinking, "Oh, Eddie, I got that wrong the day." Or he's not getting the best out of him.
Look at Chelsea. Look at the signings they've made. Like, there's not many of them really panned out. They spent about £1 billion over the past 2 years. Only a handful have been decent, like Cole Palmer.
I think it was since May 2022. There, the last couple of years, Bowley's signed like 36 players at Chelsea.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's absolutely mental.
And then they've gone through, what was it? Was Lampard there initially? So they had Lampard, and then who did they have after that? Potter, then Poch, and
now they've got Renzo.
Yeah, like they're just going through managers, but then blaming the managers. But the managers are getting like 49 people per transfer window, and doesn't know who's who. Was it Poch that didn't know who was the player?
He didn't.
He's asked about one of the players.
Who?
Yeah. See, they don't even know their own players because they've got too many that they didn't sign. Like, they'll probably turn up to practice every summer during the summer windows. Who the fuck's that? You just signed him for £900 million. Like, did I? Oh, it sounds like. Who is he? What position did he play? Like that. That's what I mean. Like, I think coaches get too much pressure to play people that they probably didn't want to sign in the first place.
Kevin Keegan, Dennis Wise. Jumping on Nacho Gonzalez, and
exactly.
Eddie Howe, who the hell is that? Watch him on YouTube. Decent man. Crazy.
His YouTube highlight reel was absolutely class.
And then Keegan whacked out enough, didn't he? Rightfully so, no, to be fair. Getting them crap players hide on him. Big up AJT, the helmet. He's in the chat. Shout out Joe Geordie for the super chat. Appreciate that one, mate. Question for us. Would you take losing your sight for 3 years if it meant in these next 3 years we win the league? Obviously, you don't get to see it happen. No, because I don't get to see it happen. So I get to hear it. Good atmosphere. Yeah. But someone could just be lying to us.
I think being blamed for 3 years would be absolutely shite.
All day, every day for 3 years now.
Then,
I've got glasses on already. I'm already half fine. Take these away.
I know, actually being able to see like the trophy celebration stuff. Like, I know, like, blind people have like that extra sense, don't they?
Seller or smashing it though. You got the old new shirts, haven't you? With the vibrations in and all that for the deaf. Get something for the blind.
I would love to say we'll win a trophy, but I wouldn't like to be blind in the process. So, nah.
That's a no from me, Joe Geordie. But
good question, though.
Very different as well.
Interesting. I like it.
Yeah, unique, that one.
Not like the one last week where I asked if we would like to get bummed by a gorilla.
Keep them coming. Not the gorillas.
Not the gorillas. No.
Just the different questions.
Didn't want them coming.
Lastly, on how then, you mentioned Poch there, to be fair, at Chelsea. And I was going to do a video on this yesterday, but did one on the stuff that came out instead. And it was linking Pochettino as the favourite to replace Eddie Howe should he take the England job. Easy link to make because he's obviously a free agent now, who's also linked to the England job. And he worked with Paul Mitchell at Spurs there. So they've worked together. They're good pals. Everyone's saying, this young Newcastle side, he's actually Gordon's. They'll be perfect under Pochettino. It'd be like Spurs all over again in the prime days of Dele Alli and all that. So Pochettino... Let's just say, hypothetically, we know we don't want it to happen. I don't think it will happen. But if Howe was to go, Pochettino in?
For England, he's probably my number one England choice, to be fair. And then that way you get the best of both worlds. You get Poch, but you also get to keep Eddie Howe at Newcastle. That's the dream scenario. But if, for argument's sake, I don't think it'll happen. But if Eddie Howe does leave, then, Poch is a top candidate. But I'm not so sure, to be honest. Like, he's been a bit of a journeyman over the past few years. Never kind of really settled in a place. Like, they fucking hated him at PSG. And obviously, PSG is a guaranteed title. Did he even win a title there?
He did eventually,
yeah. That's what I mean. Eventually. How many years was he there? Was it
2 or 3?
2? Like, it's PSG. It's the French league. It's a load of shit. Like, if you're PSG, you should be winning that every single year without question.
Steve Bruce.
Yeah. And he didn't do it. Obviously took Tottenham as far as he possibly could. Champions League final, done really, really well. But then ultimately it went downhill from there. Did he get fired the next season?
Well, Poch.
Yeah,
I think
the
I don't know if his contract ran out or he just.
But yeah, everywhere he's gone, like Chelsea didn't last too long. But then again, that's Chelsea. That's probably no reflection of him. Chelsea love to sack managers. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's a great option. He's certainly going to be one of the front runners, and I wouldn't be mad at it. But I don't know. I wouldn't really be that.
His stocks fell a little bit, hasn't it? There's a bit of a question mark over it. Even though, to be fair to him, he did finish the season strong at Chelsea, didn't he? He had a good couple of months. Yeah, so quite a win, few wins in a row.
Maybe them kind of managers that needs time and backed.
Got them to a final as well.
Yeah.
Beat off Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good option, but yeah, I think I'd rather have him for England than keep Eddie Howe at Newcastle. That's absolutely best case scenario.
Well, aye, absolutely. But I tell you what, Pochettino, I think he would be a decent fit for Newcastle if they come with, but hopefully not. I think Eddie is here to stay. Let us know in the comments who would you have at the tune if that was to come. Would Pochettino suit the Magpies? Speaking of the Magpies, we just flew back from Germany, not us, them. And they had a week out there at Adidas headquarters. They played one game behind closed doors against a third division German outfit, winning 3-1. It was 2 different 11s for each half. Goal scorers were Barnes, Isak, and Jacob Murphy. Did you see the highlights? The club released about a minute of it last night on the training ground vlog.
I didn't actually know. It completely kind of bypassed us, really, until I think just about a couple hours ago. I seen a snippet of Sean Longstaff's cutback. That was the only part of it I've seen, and everyone criticising Sean Longstaff, as people like to do. But
not you, though.
Not me. I always say I love Sean Longstaff.
He loves it.
Bring Matty back and all.
Mate, he didn't be fair.
But no, I didn't see the highlights, but yeah, I wouldn't really take it too seriously. It's a behind closed doors pre-season friendly.
It's a team I can't pronounce.
I don't know who it was.
Stufa.
Stuffy Rupibu.
Paint a star of Brahman, please.
That's the one. Yeah, I mean,
third division. So
third division German team is it?
Aye. Bundesliga. Tres.
Trois. No, I didn't see nothing of it apart from Sean Longstaff's cutback. But yeah, behind closed doors, friendly. Who gives a shit, really?
Who gives a shit?
We've got some more important. I don't really think any pre-season game I would categorise as important.
Whoa, Seller Cups.
But we have got Japan, then the Seller Cup. But yeah, Premier League about a month.
Less than that now, 17th.
About 3 weeks or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
We did see a Harvey Barnes special open the scoring in that game. Yeah, you know it. Cut back, right foot, top bins, arrow, bang. That was what started things off. Isak was a 1-on-1. And yeah, Murphy got one as well. So we did see a debut for Odysseas Logidijos.
Did we?
As well, Oddy, as Eddie Howe calls him.
Oddy, did he say him? I like that.
He doesn't even bother trying
nice name
to pronounce him. No, he doesn't. He still thinks it's Nebraska.
He's probably one of them. Like, what the fuck are you?
Nebraska, you been getting told, son?
Same D.
Been eating Weetabix over the summer. Come on. Looking good. Looking young. Had a shave. So Oddy had a start. I tell you what, I'm going to Hull this weekend. I want to see Big Ruddy. That's what I want to say. Get me John Ruddy on that pitch. John Fury. I tell you what, we haven't seen that training ground video. Watch it in Germany. Ruddy should get a game for Newcastle Eagles. They're playing basketball, mate. Nothing but net.
Nice.
Swoosh.
Get him in.
Get him in. So, yeah, good little turnout there for Newcastle in Germany where they've enjoyed the swimming, the facilities, going to the Adidas Vault. Did you see them unreleased kits?
Oh, I did. Yeah,
how mental was that? The Sunderland one that people run about, the red and white one.
It wasn't red and white. Really,
not happy with that.
It's like, again, people fucking jump on things on social media. Like, it wasn't really red and white. It was a bit more.
It was like shiny red with white.
It was like maroony. It was like maroon with like white under the arms. It wasn't like fucking red and white stripes. Like
not red like the subscribe button.
Yeah. I'm not having people say it was a red and white shirt. It wasn't like
the Sunderland edition.
That's a horrible resemblance. Not everything red and white has to be Sunderland.
Well, even people are saying about the current training kit, the new one, where it's clearly maroon, like the 95, 96 one. You know what all the players are wearing? The maroon training kit that they're in every picture with. And everyone's like, oh, well, it can't be red, man. That's not red.
Are you colourblind? What
That's not red.
Like, so was it a Sunderland kit in 95, 96 when we wore that, was it?
Well, it's about to be again as well. Because that new away kit should be out this week.
It's a Sunderland kit, that likes lifting. I've
seen quite a few questions about that kit in the chat. When's it out, Matty? Well, I was told it would be out this week. Obviously, most likely Friday. Could even be Saturday, the new away kit. But then there's other people saying that it could be delayed because of stock issues and getting it across. There was even people saying that the third kit was going to drop before the away one. Yesterday, last night, people were saying that was coming out today. That's obviously not the case. The new kit that has came out today, Keg, the warm-up top, the training one, the feather kit.
There's a blackout version.
Blackout version and a white summary version. 60 quid though. Someone just said there, Kenny, 60 notes for the feather kit. That is steep.
That's mad. It's training shit, man. Like I remember that. I think I remember like back in my younger days because I'm a fucking dinosaur. Like kits, like these were like 55 quid. Like maybe it's even less back in my day. Now you're gonna pay more for a fucking training shit.
I remember them being like 40, 45 quid.
Are you mad? Absolutely nowhere. Like I just think prices are mental these days. But Adidas make that money. People pay for it. So if people are gonna pay for it, then the club profit. Sound. That's no worries.
60 quid.
It's not gonna be me.
60 quid for the dodgy feather top, or $14.99 for Magpie Channel merchandise.
Barjon.
Even with the back put on it as well.
What would you do?
What would you do? Do a little spinneroonie.
I'll do a little spinneroonie.
Look at the spinneroonie.
Got the hat on and all.
He's got the hat. He's got the lot.
See it?
There we go.
Lovely.
$14.99. MagpieChannel.com for the t-shirt and the caps. Should be coming very soon. Taking longer to get them released than the away kit, but they will be coming very soon. Shout out people who've bought them already. And as Costa says, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.
Certainly don't.
On to the next topic then. Well, actually, during this camp, right, there's still... Did someone say there was 19 players missing from this Germany camp, which is a bit mad? But you've 19? Got 19, someone said.
So there was fucking 6 of them there, was there?
But because obviously quite a few are still off because of international duty. So
like
likes of
Gordon
Bruno and that should be joining for Tokyo. It's still debatable whether Gordon and Trippier will make that Tokyo pre-season tour.
I wouldn't even bother.
Nah, I wouldn't bother either. Not a chance. So obviously there's a handful there. Obviously people were a bit upset that Sandro Tonali can't even play in those behind closed doors games, which is just nuts.
That is mental. I'm sure when the news came out, he was allowed to play in pre-season friendlies. I deny he wasn't allowed to, even behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors.
What a mad rule that is.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? He's literally, there'd be no difference to that, to what he's been doing training, because it's a friendly. It's not like the game means anything.
I was sure I read that he was allowed to play in pre-season friendlies, but that's fucking mental.
He's been playing against his teammates, obviously, in training ground games, so it makes zero difference.
I know.
Like apparently we're playing Burnley tomorrow at the training ground behind closed doors, according to a few reports. So even that one.
But it's just training. It's not like a game, is it? Like you can't even class it as a pre-season friendly.
You make 11 changes at half time.
It's a training session basically. Like it's just like a collaboration session with Newcastle and Burnley. Like
it's a glorified brief test.
Yeah,
just fitness.
Like, why can't he play in that fucking PE game?
Sports day, just sports day. Do you know what I mean? Let him do the old egg and spoon, man. Sandro loves the egg and spoon. They're good at it. So yeah, that's the thing there. But also, people were worried because they didn't get to see the likes of Lloyd Kelly as well, where that started rumours of an injury, and we all know the Callum Wilson stuff came out. But we'll see who plays tomorrow against Burnley, and then, like I say, I'll be down there at Hull on Saturday, where we'll hopefully see some fresh players back for that one. That'll be good. Looking forward to Hull on Saturday. 4,500 Geordies down there.
Nice,
good stuff. On other news then, and the most recent news from today is Joelinton's interview, where he came out and touched on a few things, including Eddie Howe, including himself, and obviously signing a new contract and why he did that. But first of all, he's been talking about his Brazilian brother, Bruno Guimaraes, and he has said he thinks Bruno will stay. He knows him. He loves the city, the fans, the club, and he doesn't think he's going anywhere. He says he can't wait to be back, and he's going to be ready for the new season. That's what I hear.
I don't really feel like that's breaking news. I feel like we all knew that.
Man City fans still think they're going to get him.
Yeah, and I know like it all kind of depends on if Bruno's head can be turned. But we know he's not going to force his way out of Newcastle. We know that he loves the club. We know that he loves the fans, the city, and everything that goes with it. We know he's happy here. He's had 2 babies in Newcastle. That's settled. His dad's a fucking local legend himself.
Loves it.
So, yeah, we know Bruno's happy. Like, Joelinton doesn't need to come out as his best mate and translate that to her. It's a fact. It's a well-known fact.
Cold, hard fact.
We just need to see if Man City can give a price that we're willing to accept, which why not? It's going to have to cost an absolute bomb for us to accept. Then Bruno has to agree personal terms. That's another thing that's going to take a long time, a long negotiation, a lot of money. And I don't really think Bruno's asked either way. And I'm glad that he's not. I don't think that he should be. I think he could be a local legend here. He probably already is, to be fair. If he left this summer, we could still look at him as one of the club's greatest ever technical players.
Oh, I still would.
But I think he's got a long time to give. Is he 26 now? He must be about 26-year-old.
I think so. We said him when he was 23, 24.
Yeah. So, I think he's like Eddie Howe. I think he wants to win a trophy. I think he's so committed to Newcastle. He'd be raging if he left St James's Park without winning any kind of silverware. I think he was obviously one of the first big names to commit himself to the club when we're in the relegation zone, shortly after the takeover. He's like the talisman. He was one of the faces of the takeover. He's one of the biggest franchise players that we've ever had. I don't think he's going anywhere, and we know for a fact that he's happy and isn't going to go anywhere unless we kind of make him.
Yeah, unless someone puts in a hell of a lot of money. Is a huge offer, but even then, we're past the PSL deadline now. Staying.
No needs, yeah.
What else Joelinton had to say is on Eddie Howe, which he said, he's done a lot for me since day one. He's a great coach, a great man. I love him, don't we all? I have a lot of respect for him. He definitely changed my career. These years. Yeah, 5 years ago today, by the way, that was saying Big Joelinton.
5 years.
5 years, that is madness.
Long service for a player, to be fair.
It is, and obviously he's just signed a new long-term deal now, hasn't he? Which will keep me on for a while, hopefully. No doubt he did change your career, Joelinton, because everyone was, raging at Joelinton in a sense where he was deemed a flop, £40 million striker, thanks to Kieran Clark getting sent off in the infamous Norwich game.
Clark. He's a great man. Got a lot of respect.
He should have got a mention in his statement, to be fair, shouldn't he? Shouldn't never talk about Bruno. You should be thanking Kieran Clark.
I love him. I have a lot of respect for him. Hi, Kieran Clark. Cheers, mate. I'll send you a Christmas card.
Have a tattoo of Kieran Clark, you, Joelinton. And you'll be forever grateful for Eddie Howe for doing that, because in that game, dropping him deep, we discovered the best powerhouse of a midfielder in the league. He also said that everyone loves him and we want him here. He knows that Eddie Howe can take Newcastle to the next level. To see his name linked with the England job shows just how good he is, how well he's done since he came here. But of course, we want him to stay for as long as possible. We want to stay with him. A resounding stay, please, to Eddie Howe there from Big J7K.
Yep. And not surprising. Oh, look at Fabian Schär.
Fabian Schär over there in Switzerland. Nice shirt, that.
It's a nice shirt, It's an even nicer man. But now, Joelinton, obviously, he's pretty much got Eddie Howe to thank for his career, or at least reviving it anyway, because he came with a big reputation, played for Julian Nagelsmann at Hoffenheim.
That's not who his manager was?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Played Champions League football.
Should have been a really good striker, shouldn't he?
But he wasn't a striker, that's the fucking thing.
It's true.
Then he came to Newcastle and played for Steve Bruce, and he ruined his life.
I'm a left-winger coach. You're over 6 foot, you're going up front.
But for Nagelsmann, he played numerous positions, either as a 2 up front, or in behind, or on the left. Never, ever did he play as a sole number 9, which Steve Bruce had him playing for 2.5 years. £40 million, big money signing, slap the number 9 on his shirt. There you go, son, can score 50 goals a year.
How'd you have for pressure? Because he was young as well.
Young, kind of speak
5
English.
years ago.
There you go, fucking hell. And then you've got Steve Bruce managing you on the weekend, bloody hell.
God.
Left and cracked. I need wonder he was shite.
I mean, he's Brazilian. He didn't speak a word of English, but never mind that. Matty Longstaff couldn't understand Bruce, and he's from here. So how do you expect Joelinton to understand him and get anything out of him? Do you know what I mean?
But then, Eddie Howe came in, started playing him a bit wider. I think he started on the right side for the first few games of his career under Eddie Howe. He played really well. I think Brucey kind of figured that out in all. I think once we signed Callum Wilson, that was the real change in Joelinton. He started to play better under Eddie Howe, but under Steve Bruce when he was pushed out wide, because that was a bit more of a natural position.
Sometimes he played him behind him with the big keeper, didn't he? Harry Kane special.
And then, so Steve Bruce started to get a better player out of him, but he's still just massively low on confidence, just had not really going for him, obviously playing shite, negative style of football.
Yeah, it didn't help.
Eddie Howe came, still started playing him right wing, started playing better. I think he scored on the first game, that Brentford game. Remember when he had COVID? He didn't make his first game, so he scored in Eddie Howe's first game, playing on the right wing. And then, that kind of off-the-cuff kind of fluke chance that Kieran Clark made a dick of himself, getting himself sent off 10 minutes in against, was it Norwich, I think it was?
Norwich.
and then having to push him. I was at that game. I was sat in the Gallagher end, and I was seeing like after that putting Joelinton on centre mid. I was like, centre mid? The fuck's he digging? Oh, that's lifting that. I was like fucking Joelinton playing centre mid. But then he had a cracking game. I was thinking, you know what? He had a really good game, and then obviously everyone else realised it and all, and then realised that. You know what it is? He's an absolutely phenomenal centre mid, absolute powerhouse, shithouse centre mid.
40 million bargain.
Stick some tackles in, wing back possession, pass the ball, get forward, join in the front three, even start scoring goals. Probably scored more goals as a centre mid than he does as a fucking striker. But no, like, Eddie Howe, like Joelinton's pretty much got Eddie Howe for his entire career. He might have learned a lot under Nagelsmann as a youngster. But what he's done over the past couple of years with Eddie Howe has just completely got him into the Brazil team. Like, absolutely changed his life.
Exactly.
Big contract as well last year.
Yeah, one of the biggest earners now. And like you say, being in that Brazil team. Imagine seeing that a few years ago.
And 2019, Steve Bruce, 40 million, flop signing.
You'd be in the Brazil
like
team.
Was it 3 goals all season? I think it was as a striker. £40 million club record signing striker.
I remember watching him at Rochdale away in the FA Cup.
Sound car park. Raging.
I think Andrew mentioned it before. Yeah, there's times where he
tried Sorensen on instead.
Try to hit the ball and hit him in his own face.
I remember that game actually.
God,
that was kind of funny.
Crazy stuff. But we'll love him now. He's a legend. What he also had to say, Joelinton, was on Sandro Tonali. Obviously, I can't wait to see them pair up in midfield alongside Bruno. Sandro's a great lad. Works really hard. I hope he can really help the team this season because he's a great player. Mm-hmm. Let's hope we get to see that as well. And finally, Joelinton on himself. He's very happy here. He loves the club. The city, his family's happy. I enjoy my life. I'm happy to continue my journey here. My hopes are high for next season. Last season was difficult for me with the injuries, but now I want to help us succeed this year. So that's what we like to hear as well. Big Joe. Good interview there. Good to hear from him. And there were some good questions. I'm just going to quickly go back to them because there were some good questions in the chat before when we were discussing the Bruno, Joelinton stuff and what else he had to say. There's another question as well. Super chat from Joe Geordie. Big up, mate. Thank you very much. Let's see what this one is. For £100 million, now we're raising the stakes a little bit, yeah?
Yes.
Would you have your legs surgically removed and replaced with replicas of your own arms? The operation goes smoothly.
That's the main thing.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
It would go smoothly. It would go smoothly.
I'm on a bad operation.
Instead of me toes and I'm £100 million up, then...
I know, so I might as well something doing it.
Right, to be fair, I'm going to stay in the club and then, make it a ticket for every game then. That'll be all right.
Right, fuck the ballot.
Yeah, he's not the ballot off. It's a temp one, that, like, but I don't know. Arms for legs. I don't know about that. Like. Good question here from Brent, who's a member.
Hello, Brent.
Who do you lads think will lead us out on the first day with the armband on? Obviously, we know the Sellers are still going to be injured. Trippier is looking very unlikely to be here still.
I can. Big DB.
Big DB? So what's that defence looking like on the opening day then? Tino right back.
If it's not Trippier, I think it's a piece of piss. I think it's Tino, Shaw, DB, Hall.
Right. So
if Trippier isn't here, even if he is, I think Tino's won his place. I think Tino's like at least the most in form. Obviously, Trippier had a bad spell last year. It's unfortunate. I still think there's a cracking player in there. But yeah, if you're still there week one, that's the only debate, the right back position. So you go left over Hall, Dan Burn, Shaw, picks itself. Right back, there's a conversation. But yeah, Tino would be the starter for me. So yeah, DB captain. No
chance of Lloyd Kelly starting instead then? He's going to keep his faith, keep his big man there.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, that was the best kind of form that we had at the back end of the season. Obviously, without Botman and Lascelles as well. Burn, obviously, he's not a left back. He played quite well as a left side centre back. Shaw on the right. Hall solidifies himself as the left side centre back, as the left back. Sorry, but Kelly comes in as backup, versatile option who can play centre back and can play left back. So unless there's an injury to Hall or Burn, either one of Kelly or Burn could play left back, and both can also play left side centre back. So unless something happens to Burn or Hall, then yes, Kelly probably will start. But if Burn and Hall are both fit, then Kelly starts from the bench for me.
Final curveball. We know we want to sign a centre-back ASAP. We're going to get the names that have been linked in the last few days. So if we say we do sign Malik Chow from AC Milan.
Is that how you said?
Yep.
Nice.
Because I got it wrong a couple of times, and then someone sent in the comments.
I would have.
And then I looked again, because I did do the research and I seen
So
it was
Chow,
meant to
like
be-
Chowdhury.
Aye, and
Nice.
then but then I seen a bit of analysis on him, and it was Chow. So
Oh,
Malik
nice.
Chow, even
Appreciate
though
that.
it definitely doesn't look that way.
Yeah, I would have said that wrong. Cheers.
Yeah, there you go. So if he is there, or Tomori, or Tadibo, whoever, that obviously would mean Dan Boone would be out, surely, if you spend 30, 40 million on a centre-back. Let's say he is, right, just so we can pick someone else's captain.
Well, yeah, but possibly, but like,
Or does Dan Boone go left back, all guys on the bench again?
Aye, probably.
He
you never
loves
know.
Dan Boone.
But realistically, we've got some options of. There's always a debate about having players with the correct foot playing on either side of centre back. For me, that's bollocks. Because people have been doing that for years. Like left-footed players aren't always easy to come by. So for years, like some of the best centre-back partnerships have both been right-footed players. You just got to find the one that can play most comfortably on the left-hand side. So for me, you don't need to have a right and a left footer as your centre-back partnership. But that has been a big conversation in Newcastle for the past few years, and it does make sense. So for me, I checked out all of Chow, Tomori, and Tadibo. They're all right-footed players, and that has been a big option because on the left side you've got Botman when fit, Byrne, and now Kelly as well. So you've got 3 left-sided centre-backs. Without Lascelles, you've only got Shaw. There's been a lot of talk about obviously needing to upgrade the backup option in Lascelles because, let's face it, he's not great. He comes in when he needs to. He does all right, to be fair. Like, he's not the worst centre-back, but when he's your only backup option, it doesn't look great. Everyone talks about Fabian Shaw as if he's getting older, needs to be replaced. Again, I disagree. I think he's young enough to still look good. Like, it obviously depends on the body. Like, players can play until... Look at Pepe. What was he, like 42?
Still playing the Euros?
Yeah, exactly. Still playing at a very high level. You've got like your Ronaldos, Messi's, Ibrahimovic can easily play until 40 plus. It just depends on your body. And Shaw looks like he's not slowing down anytime soon.
No.
So I'm fine with Shaw starting as our right-side centre-back. But that being said, yes, we need depth. And maybe it's smart to look for a potential successor or at least pressure. Because as much as I like Shaw, could do better. So you bring someone in who is you look at as the eventual successor, but also someone who can come in and apply pressure now. At least very good backup option, much better than Lascelles, but also someone who you can look at by the end of the season could even outplay Shaw and end up replacing him by next year and maybe sell Shaw on next year. So for me, right side centre back is a big position of need. And if one of them comes in, whether it's Chow, Tomori, or Tadibo, or any other right-side centre-back, I'd maybe just kind of keep them on the bench for now. And I know if any of one of them come in, we probably will spend a lot of money. But you know Eddie Howe is a bit of a loyalist. And he doesn't throw people in unnecessarily. He likes to take time, especially outside of Tomori. None of them have played Premier League football before, and it is a bit of a learning curve. So even if it is Chow or Tadibo, I think week 1, if everyone's fit and healthy, they start on the bench and Shaw and Byrne and Hall start from week 1.
Other potential captains, though, for the question, if it wasn't him, you could have probably been looking at Bruno, haven't you? Maybe?
You have, because another kind of backup captain is Wilson, but we know he's out. So without
as well.
Lascelles is going to be injured. We're already talking hypothetically that Trippier and Byrne aren't there. We know Wilson isn't going to be there. So that's 4 of our main captains not available. So is Bruno captain before? Was he captain once?
Once or twice towards the end.
Yeah, so I think Bruno probably is our 5th choice captain. So if all of them 4 choices are absent, then because I think I don't really see Isaac being a leader. Maybe it's too early for Gordon.
I was going to say Gordon. I know it is. He is very young, but I just feel like his mindset and the way he is, he could wear it. Like.
He could like be on the list.
I wouldn't give him it now.
On the list, he's one of the leaders, I would say, but still being so young. It's a bit premature, but 2, 3, 4 years, he's captain material, like definitely.
Let us know in the chat who could be the captain on that opening day of the season if those players were out that we mentioned. Ryan says, yeah, best podcast on YouTube, lads.
You're not wrong, Ryan.
Even if Keg does watch American football.
Sorry about that.
He's not a fan of the old NFL.
Not a fan of that pigskin throwing, are you?
Even a Matty, Keg, by the end of the transfer window, do you think Dubs, Trips, Miggy, Wilson, Fraser, Hayden, Lewis, and Target
That's a long list.
will be at the club?
How many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
If it was a possibility, I think we would sell all of them if there was offers in there.
I think at least 2, maybe 3 stay of them 8.
Do you?
We're not going
Who's
to
the 2
sell
or 3?
all of them.
Target probably stays. He's on big money.
Yeah, Dubravka's probably gone. Trippier, Miggy, and Wilson are potentials, and I know that all probably top targets to leave, and like you say, targets on a big contract as well. So they're 4 players that I think could stay. Dubravka's probably gone. Fraser, well, he'll still be at the club. Hayden will be, because he's still well in contract. He'll probably go on loan again until his contract runs out in 2026.
I still got
Hayden will probably still be at the club, but out on loan somewhere. Hayden will probably still be.
We're in the same situation with Ryan Fraser, who's only got 1 year left on his deal. He's got 1 year left now. He has been on. He was on a long one. Obviously, Southampton, we were trying to get them to make the deal permanent, but they're thinking, well, why are we going to do that? We might get relegated again.
So Fraser and Hayden will probably still be here till next summer.
They just want him on loan, and then that makes sense to them. Why are they going to think, we'll pay a few money for Fraser? Oh, tell you what, we'll just have him on loan again, and then we'll make him when he's a free agent next year. Jamal Lewis, he actually did play in the game in Germany the other day. Like he normally does in pre-season, and then he'd probably go out on loan because no one will want to again. But we're just loaning everyone out. I want to be Dubravka was linked to go to Celtic. They're now saying Kasper Schmeichel. So missed that one. So he's not going there anymore. But I think he will go somewhere else. Trippier, obviously, very heavily linked to Saudi, to even Germany still, even Turkey today. Was it Galatasaray we're linked with Trippier today? So we'll talk a bit on that in depth in a minute, to be fair, a little bit more. And Miggy and Wilson we know we're trying to get rid of, but Wilson's injured again. So we'll go into that a little bit more again in a minute, get through, just see if there's any more good comments out on. There was plenty before. And then we'll get back into the agenda. Right then. Jordy Croft says, now wrong with the NFL. Go, Pack, go.
Yeah.
Who that Pack is?
Packers. Green Bay. Yeah.
I knew that, see? Got it right.
Go, Pack, go.
Okay, then, let's talk transfers. We'll get into the people who think we're going to leave more on that question that was just on the screen there and the clubs they've been linked to in a few minutes. But actually, Kay, before we do that, are you on the second beer there now, are you?
I am, yes. The Skin Deep Volume 2. I haven't had a sip of it yet, have you?
No, I haven't. So let's do it together right now. Cheers.
Skin Deep, baby.
Well, that's nice. I think I prefer that over the Hellraiser.
Yeah, it is. It's like all Anarchy Brew beers. They're good.
Delicious.
Not wrong with it.
And again, wrong. No, I like that one.
So keep an eye out for both of them coming real soon.
Real soon. So, who's going to come to Newcastle real soon is the question that everybody wants the answer to. Anybody, please, at this point. So, the reports from Spain. Last night, I was looking at this. Lots of people saying it, especially over there in Spain, that Newcastle are one of the clubs who have held talks with Real Betis about the signing of 18-year-old wonder kid, the right winger, Hassani Diao. And I'll be honest with you, I'd never heard of him before.
No, me either. Not until you sent me that. But one thing that I will mention, because I had a little Google of all of the ones that we're going to talk about, just to get a little bit of background knowledge on them.
Good stuff.
Let me see where it was, which I wasn't really big fan of. I mean, he's great potential from what I've read up about him. Obviously, only 18 years old, already in the first team at Real Betis, and had a lot of interest from Barcelona. Yeah, so Barcelona want to keep make a signing of him. 6'1", big lad for a youngster. Started out as a midfielder. His attacking skills led him to being moulded as a left winger. So he's right-footed. But he's primarily right-footed, but is strong with both feet.
Nice sort of leg.
He has powerful technique and strong heading ability. So he's a big, bulky lad who can, like, maybe he's only 18, but in a few years could be like an Adama Traore, big, bulky type. I like that. But Yeah, I think being both-footed is key here because we really, really need a right winger. But that was, from what I was reading, says that he's a right-footed left winger. We've already got two of them.
We do.
So if left wing is his key position, then I'll pass.
Pass.
Yeah, we don't need another left winger, another right-footed left winger at that, because we've already got Gordon and Barnes to do that role.
Yeah, we do.
We need a right winger. Whatever foot he is, I know you mentioned preferring a right-footed right winger. I'm not that bothered as long as it can get the fucking ball in. And now we've probably all got scars over Miggy over the past few years, not being able to use his bastard right foot. So, yeah, I've got trust issues with that myself, so I don't blame you. But it is a very, very common thing these days to have an opposite-footed player. But if he can't play right wing, he's still so young, coming in with an Eddie Howe, who's brilliant at adapting and moulding young talents. Fair enough. Like, if he can get him playing and maybe just be the Yankuba Minda that we didn't get.
So we'll sell him on in a year's time then.
Maybe. Yeah, if he can come and play right wing, is a right-footed player, but comfortable with both feet, phenomenal. That's what I like to hear. I like that you can use both feet. Don't really care which one your primary one is, but you need to be able to play right wing. I don't want a left winger. If your primary position's left wing, then jog on. We've got other targets. I'm not interested. But if he's young enough that Eddie Howe can mould him into a proper out-and-out right winger that can cross with his right foot and cut in and use his left mid.
Aaron said, yeah, he's got huge potential. Under 21 Spanish international would be a good signing for the future. But that's the problem, in a sense, because I want a signing for the present. I want a signing on the right wing that's ready.
We need one now. Yeah, I agree with moving on. And we haven't got this on the list, but I would like to mention, obviously just being a grumpy old bastard these days, everyone slagging off the Serbian centre-back signing.
Oh,
Pivaš.
Pivaš, good pronunciation.
Yeah, thank you. It's just what I heard. I don't know if it's right or not, but I believe it. Because it's got the
convincing.
It's got the thingy above the S, so yeah, it sounds like a Pivaš. But yeah, people are slagging off Pivaš because it's not a key signing, it's a future one, but you're taking the piss.
Well, we need to improve the academy, though.
I know, we're academy shite.
7 years.
What do you want, the next fucking Paul Dummett? That's look at Yankuba. Look at Yankuba Minta. What if he can be worth £40 million in the next 2 years? Or next year?
Well, there you go.
He's 19 years old. He's not a kid. But yes, he's going to go into the under-23s to start with, but it's for the development to go into the first team. And we're talking about Chow Tomori Tadibo. What if Pivaš is that guy? What if we've bought him for cheap as out? And he could come into the first team. He's old enough. He's not 16, 17. 19's a fair age. So yeah, people are whinging on about like potential and not buying first team players. Fuck off. What are you on about? Like, we need to sign these players, but I get like we need first team players. Like, the club needs the right side centre back now, especially right wing. We need that now. But there's not wrong. We're looking forward towards the future.
No, definitely.
But if we're signing Diao, it's not like, all right, that's it. Yeah, we still need to be in the market. Like, he's one for the future, and he's probably going to cost a lot of money, and that will be the problem. You cannot put, I don't know how much Pivaš was, but Diao's going to cost you at least 25 million, probably.
Jesus.
So yeah, if we're going to spend that much money, he needs to get straight in the first team. We haven't really got that much time to develop him for the next 2 or 3 years.
Nah, we don't really like. And you said it. You know, people were turning the nose up at Pivaš, but it's a good one that the academy needs to strengthen. Knowing our injury situation, he probably will be playing third game of the season. He rushed in and he might be an absolute baller. Yeah. I mean, we've seen it in the past. So we'll see how he gets on. But good luck to him. What I did like was how highly Serbia legend Nemanja Matic rated him.
Yeah.
He was giving him huge praise. So it sounds like we could have got with a little Serbian gem.
It was Vidic, I think. Vidic said he's the best defender since himself and Ibrahimovic, because he can both play right side as well.
Wow. There you go then.
He can play right side centre back. I think he can play DM and right back as well. He's very versatile, but
a utility player.
So yeah.
Well, we could do with him then. I'm sure he'll come in handy in the future. But the centre back position, then we talked about the young right winger there, and there hasn't been many names linked to that right wing. So let's focus on the names that have been mentioned, and that is all at centre back. It seems certain that the next signing through the door at Newcastle United will be a defender. You'd hope that they could have got them in this week. There's still time between Tuesday. You could still easily get a sign in the next 3-4 days before they go to Hull and then Tokyo. Wait and see. And if it's led to be true, the rumours are it will be either Malik Chow, Tomori, both AC Milan centre-backs. Apparently, there've been discussions with the pair of them. Obviously, not signing both, but to decide who's going to fit their bill the most or who might be the cheapest bill. What I do like, though, about Tomori, as you said, Eddie Howe likes to bed players in. We've seen how long it took him to start Bruno and other players. Tonali came in fairly quickly, to be fair. But he's an exception. He normally does take them a while. Anthony Gordon, Harvey Barnes, everything else. So, with Tomori, Premier League experience, been there, done it, he can start straight away.
Caps,
He should have been in the team. But yeah, so Tomori, maybe some signing, wouldn't he? But so would Chow. You know, Chow, 22-year-old German, big lad, highly rated. Both of them are meant to be in around the 30 to 40 million pound mark. Alongside that is Todibo, the young French defender there who was on his way to Man U, but that deal got blocked because they've got the same Ineos ownership.
I think West Ham's in on all of these deals.
All of them. West Ham
all of these people that I Googled, like the top news is that West Ham's going to sign them.
West Ham's in for everyone.
So every single player that Newcastle wants, West Ham also wants. So.
Yeah, West Ham are.
There's going to be a battle for every single one of these players.
Well, West Ham did agree a fee for Todibo, 30 million euros, 30-odd million euros. I think it was like 28.5 million pounds. But Todibo wasn't apparently too keen on the move. Juventus then came in. Todibo agreed the fees, his wages with Juve, but Juve couldn't match the transfer fee that West Ham did. So there's been a bit of a stall there. Newcastle have hijacked the deal. That was the news over the weekend. That's when a bit quiet. Question to you, Ked. Question to everyone in the chat. Out of those three, who should we sign and why?
I mean, they're all good options. Tomori, as you said, English Premier League experience. So, yeah, that would be a good option. Going to take less time to develop. And I think he's the older of them three as well. I think he's 26 years old.
Who's the oldest? Tomori.
Tomori at 26, which, again, people always want the younger one. And, you know, what people are like these days will probably say, 26? No, doesn't he sell on value?
Finished.
Nah, I don't believe that bullshit for a second. 26 is a great age.
Look at Shaw. We didn't bring him up before.
Yeah.
Shaw's what, 32?
I think.
33.
But Tomori, with that Premier League experience, also international experience, like done very, very well abroad. Won a title at his side 2 or 3 years ago, did he?
He did,
Yeah.
Big champs.
So yeah, he's gone abroad, like broaden these horizons. Like I think it's good for, particularly for young players to go abroad and like kind of experience different like cultures because there's different playing styles everywhere.
That's Tonali.
Yeah, but obviously, that's Tonali. But obviously, like he's played for Chelsea, played at a high level. Did he score like a 30-odd screamer on his debut? Was that like Frank? I think it was Frank Lampard's first game.
I've seen that, didn't
he was on loan at
Cup,
Reading, maybe had a loan spell at Reading. And Frank Lampard just hiding the young'uns in like Mason Mount that he had at Derby and
Todd Bowley and managers couldn't say anyone.
Yeah,
for a while.
Tammy Abraham, like he gave like all the Ben's debuts, and I'm sure Tomori scored like a
Mason
30-yard screamer. So yeah, I think Tomori would be a great option. And I say that as I know more. Like I can't lie and say like I know loads about Chow and Todibo. No. Only just learned how to say Chow's name about 20 minutes ago. But from what I read, he's 6'4" and he's the youngest of the three as well. He's 22 years old, big lad, going to go alongside. Well, even if it's Dan Burn, I wasn't going to say Dan Burn, but Botman, that's the one. Thank you very much.
That'd be ideal.
They're all big lads. Like imagine having such a big back line like that. Like,
exactly.
Like obviously powerhouses in set pieces, can score goals, going to be an absolute nuisance for everyone, defending, attacking set pieces. Like I think having like a big guy like that, like the tallest and the youngest of the three. So that probably gets my vote just in that. Like I don't know a lot about him. I don't know how good he really is. But looking at his height and his age, being the tallest and the youngest of them three, he gets the nod for me. Like
gets a nod for me, and people are saying the same thing in the chat. You've got Aaron there saying, "Chow would be my pick, long-term partner at Botman for the next 10 years. Exactly perfect. Have that relationship, and the closest profile to Shaw. C15 rise has to be Chow, player and a half, and future German international starlet. No brainer. 6'4". Gary V. Chow for me too. Ian, Chow for me. Chow gets the nod. I would have said Chow, Tomori, then Todibo, to be honest. All three would be cracking additions, like, but there's just something about Chow when you look at him and only since the start of the summer have I been really invested in it and seeing his highlights, seeing what he's about, reading about him. I think he is going to be a top German star
as well. He can kind of cover like a couple of roles for you as well.
Yeah,
and I wouldn't rule out Todibo. If we signed him, then that's great. But if you rank them three, Todibo would be a pretty clear number 3 for me, and I could rotate Chow and Tamuri as your 1 and 2s.
Aye. Yeah. Well, there we go. Chow's our pick. Chow seems to be the majority of your pick as well. But we did kind of talk about the young right winger before. Finally, on that forward length, I know a lot of people are on it, and stick ice there in the comments as they're seeing any progress. Right side winger, transfer, marquee player, big star. Obviously, Keg, Callum Wilson's injured again. Shock horror. Yeah, didn't see that one coming, did you? He's out, back injury. Probably going to miss the start of the season, is what Eddie Howe said.
And the rest of it.
Yeah, so how many times in this podcast have we talked about him? We don't need to go into detail and the chance of a second, third choice striker. But on that notion, Joelinton David, who we kind of talked about briefly the other week,
like last week or the week before,
he's getting mentioned more and more. The young Canadian playing out there in Lille, got a very good record. He looks like he could be available for, what was it, 35 million or something like that? So
maybe,
that would be a smart move, wouldn't it?
I think it would be a great signing, yeah. I was doing a little bit of more research about him. Like, I always thought he was quite tall. I don't know if I've been watching the wrong player.
No, he's more like a little speedy.
He's 5'9". Yeah, he's got a lot of pace, like bags of speed, and even if you worked him with Isaac, because from what I've looked up about, they say he's a bit more of like a kind of like a second striker. So you can play him as a second striker or attacking midfielder. You can play in any of the sort of kind of 3 roles: attacking midfielder, second striker, or your primary striker. You can play any of them roles. So you provide phenomenal backup for Isaac. If he plays on the bench, it's an option for him. If you're going to spend that much money, obviously you'd want to put them in, but we'll spend 64 million on Isaac. So if it's about half of that. So that's just kind of what the club needs to do. They need to just kind of beef that depth up. But yeah, he's a fantastic option, a little bit versatile, can play as your number 9 or a little bit deeper. With his speed, you could kind of develop him into a wider player. We've seen Isaac play out wide numerous times, so even you could play David up top and Isaac on the left. You could do that. But yeah, we need to beef up them options. If Wilson's going to get fit or get sold, whatever, he can't stay as the third choice option for me. But Joelinton David's an absolutely phenomenal option. So yeah, I think that would be a great signing. Regardless of price, I wouldn't really be too worried about it. Everyone kind of wants to get them bargain prices, and we're probably not going to get him cheap. But that being said, yeah, I think it'd be a great young player, lots of speed, lots of potential, international, tons of goals in League
Great record,
as well. Yeah, the Un record's absolutely class. So yeah, whichever position he plays, whether it's as the 9 or deeper, he can put the fucking ball away.
That's what we need. Need someone to stay fit now. Hopefully he's younger. He's fresh.
What's his injury history like?
That's what you mean. Scrap the goal record. Because if you look at Wilson's goal record, it'll be good. Just misses every bloody 6 months in a row.
That's what Paul Mitchell needs to look at. Right, first thing, how's his injuries?
Right then, couple of people that could be leaving. Let's just talk about Wilson quickly then, and then we'll brush over a couple more before we end on something interesting and different on the podcast with a certain Olympics starting this weekend. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments as well on these daft little questions we've got coming up. But first of all, Wilson, will he be sold? Will he be kept? Can he sell him since he's always injured? Will anyone even pay for him?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Still linked with Saudi, West Ham.
Yeah. I did see a link on a Charlotte FC fan page in the MLS.
There you go.
And I had to bite back at it a little bit, but I kind of get there. So even MLS fans and Charlotte's probably big name player is Ashley Westwood.
He's their star player.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. But even Charlotte fans were slagging him off, saying that he's injury prone. So I was like, hold on, lads. I don't comment on social media. I can't stand social media trolls and stuff. I hate negative comments. But I had to bite it up a bit as a Newcastle fan. I had to take Callum Wilson's back as I've done all the time. But even if he's fit for half of your games, he knows where the net is. And that's why I've always defended him. That's why I would like to keep him as, if we're saying Joelinton David, I've banged on every single fucking week that we've been doing this podcast that we need 3 strikers. I felt like going into last season with 3 strikers, one being Callum Wilson built the Pringles, And Isaac, who had his injuries as well. So 2 strikers with a little bit of injury history was just absurd for me.
It was.
So
Especially with Champions League.
And I still feel the same. So I feel like if we sold Wilson, you'd need to buy 2. Like, you couldn't just replace Wilson with David and have that done, because you'd still end up with 2 strikers, and that's not good enough. So for me, I'd quite happily keep him. But at the same time, yeah, he's like, who's going to buy him? That was like your question. Like, who's going to buy him? Like, you could go to the MLS, bang goals in for fun at Charlotte or anywhere else if you went to like Saudi or Turkey or anywhere like that. Like, he could absolutely rip goals apart, but he just needs to stay fit. And that's any team that wants to sign him's risk. Like, how many games is he going to play? Like, how much money is he going to cost? And what's his wage demand going to be? What's his agent's fee is going to be? Is it worth signing a player that injury prone? I don't think it is. So that's why I'm more inclined just to fucking keep him.
Yeah.
Just make him my 3rd choice striker. Sign David. Just keep him on the back burner.
Perfect, that for me.
Right?
But because I don't know how much you're really going to get from now, because I think at the start of the window, or back in January, when he was linked with Atletico Madrid, and like I said, the West Ham thing's forever been there, or Brentford even sniffing around him now, they lose Ivan Toney. But yeah, again, they'll be looking and think, well, I'm not going to pay 15 million for him because he's only going to play it 12 games.
I think we paid 20 for him, what, 4 years ago?
4 or 5 years ago.
Must have been 2019, was it, or 2020? Must have been 19.
Must have been before then, before COVID times, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see where Wilson ends up with. Anyway, I've got a feeling he might stay now with this injury, and think unless he does get a Saudi or whatever. But
that is perfect. Just give him time to recover. Just because he's out of contract and all. Even if I think we've got his money's worth, because he has banged goals in. Like, he's been a great servant forward. So I wouldn't even be bothered about losing him on a free next year. Like, if he can stay at the club, be our 3rd choice striker, even if he plays in minimal league games, but cup games or whatever. Like, his goal records are that good that I still think he could get close to 10 goals, even if he doesn't play that many games. And that kind of return for a 3rd choice striker isn't bad.
He's up there now, and is he not one of our top goal scorers in history now?
He's up there,
4th, 5th or something?
He's been a great servant, so even if we lost him on a free, I wouldn't even be that arsed. Like, I'd rather keep him than force him out the door, end up with 2 strikers again, and get, 15 million? Like, I think it's worth keeping him for 1 year, see how he gets on, and risk losing him next year on a free. We've got our money's worth out of him, so I think it's a risk-free reward.
Same question applies then to another player that has 1 year left on his deal and is constantly linked with a transfer away. We had a few articles yesterday floating about saying that he is certain to leave Newcastle this summer, and that is Kieran Trippier.
Yeah, more and more interest. Saudi, Turkey.
Now Turkey coming in, Galatasaray.
And then it's just his kind of personal life. Like, what was his issue last year?
Right.
We didn't see the real Trippier last year.
Nope.
Probably one of our best players since the takeover. Like, our very first signing since the takeover.
Wilson, our 2nd highest goal scorer behind Shearer. Says Aaron
in the Premier League, not all time. Yeah. Is he even up there? Because
I thought it was like
there's a couple like Beardsley, Cole.
No, he probably is now. Like,
he's up there at least anyway. But
Trippier,
so Trippier. I mean, it's a difficult one because he's a great player. He just needs to kind of get whatever's been in his head out of his head. He needs to get back into his form. Even if he's a backup for Tino, he couldn't really. He's got to be the best backup left back and right back in the Premier League. Like, bloody hell, he's far too good to stay on somebody's bench. But it's like, it is kind of like the mentality thing. Depth is key. Depth is really, really important to me, at least anyway. I know I think a lot of people overlook the importance of the depth.
Well, especially when we've had our injuries, there should be nobody overlooking that now.
Injuries, absolutely. And I think he's only got 1 year left, maybe, is he?
1 year.
Yeah.
34 in November?
But again, he's 34 years old. He's probably been one of our best, for only been here for like 2.5 years. He's been one of our best right backs in Premier League history.
Yeah.
Like, for how long, like, Warren Barton was here and people like that, like Habib Bey,
Monday, Tuesday, Habib Bey.
We had some great right backs, but for how short of a time he's been here, Trippier's probably clearly been the best. And at 34 years old, at a bargain 12 million.
Steal.
Fucking hell. Again, if we lost him on a free, we've got our money's worth. Or at least, like, let it run out and see, like, if he plays well, if he kind of gets them problems out of his head, is he worth keeping on at a reduced contract? Because he's got to be on well over 100 grand. At 35 years old next year, is it worth giving him a new 1-year deal, but on a much cut price contract, or just let him go for free? Either one, I feel like every option for Trippier is a win-win. Sell him, keep him, let him go for free, get some money, re-sign him. Any option I'm cool with, because he's just been that good of a servant for us and that good of a player, reliable leader. Whatever happens, and I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I think he'll leave. But I agree, wouldn't be the worst having him still here, because obviously we know what his leadership qualities are. We know what he brings
even in the dressing room, if Tino gets a starter,
Tino's got to start though. Absolutely, definitely.
Having a leader like
can't
that
be holding back Tino now from flourishing, and but we know even he's had a bit of a niggling injury still, hasn't he? He hasn't played any football for a while.
He had his ACL before he signed for us.
Yeah, and he's still out at the minute. Lastly, on players potentially exiting, is Sean Longstaff. Again, a player who's only got 1 year left. There's been no talks about a new deal. That has fueled speculation that he will be sold to cash in whatever little you can on him before his deal expires next summer. There's been the likes of newly promoted Leicester City linked to him, Everton linked to him as well, and a couple of teams from abroad. Sean Longstaff, I think, because you've got to think
always
now.
been in for him. I don't know if there's going to be links this summer, but they've
Still,
always been a team. Yeah.
Still, because obviously they got rid of Onan, and I was 50 million for him. Yeah. Could get Longstaff in for 15, 20. There you go, not a bad deal for them, that I suppose. I think Longstaff would be a really good player for Everton. You know, when you play, I think suits a club.
He fits the bill.
I could see him in that Everton shirt. I could see him doing a good job.
But also, you think about like homegrown talents and stuff, and all like. It's whatever the price, pure profit, because he's an academy kid like Elliot Anderson. Exactly. So it's not like you talk about 20 million on Wilson, 12 million on Trippier. Is it worth letting them go for free, or can you get at least that back, or profit or loss or whatever? Like whatever you get, even if it's £1 million for Sean Longstaff, it's £1 million pure profit.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad offer. Whatever we get for him. We've got some depth at centre mid as long as everyone stays fit. We're going to go into the season without Miley and Tonali. Willock's had a lot of injuries and all. He's a bit of another Callum Wilson, isn't he?
Last chance for me this season, Joe Willock. Like, I don't want to waste any more time on him. Great player, but he's like Wilson. I was injured.
But you tell me, our starting 3 against Southampton, knowing fine well that we haven't got Tonali and Miley.
It's true.
It's going to be Sean Longstaff.
It's going to be Longstaff, aye. So.
I think you keep him till at least the end of the window, because Tonali will be back for Southampton at the end of August. So then you can maybe kind of start looking at it in that kind of roundabout way. Like, right, we've got Tonali back. Miley's only a few weeks away. Is it worth cashing in now? I think he's one of them kind of deadline day signings. Like that would, like I say, would be perfect for an Everton. You can see that. You can see Sean Longstaff going to Everton on deadline day.
In the car.
That is just such
window down.
That is a typical fucking deadline day signing. That like, but for me, that makes a whole lot of sense. Keep him. Have no intention of selling him right now. Wait until Tonali's back, and then it's not that long, because it's like, is that the 29th of August, I think it is.
What's that?
Tottenham.
Aye, something like that, aye.
Yeah, so there's only like a handful of days. So have every intention of keeping Longstaff until the end of August. And then within that sort of 48-hour period or whatever it is until the transfer window closes, see what offers you get. And then, like look at things, Everton's or Leicester's or whoever, see what offers you get, and then start negotiating from there.
Because you have got, obviously, you mentioned it, I forgot about Miley being injured. There isn't Anderson being sold. There isn't anybody else. You've got Joe White, and that's it. So,
question is if Wilkes going to be fit, probably not.
Yeah, he would solve the issue right there, and then if he was, but he hasn't been training like full impact yet either. So fuck me, man.
So you keep Longstaff for now, and then just kind of see what happens.
Ian saying I'd take McTominay, sell Longy. Obviously, McTominay's been linked in the past. He's up for sale by Man U. Fulham had a £17 million bid rejected. 17. They wanted him to replace Paulinho, who's went to Bayern Munich. But yeah, I don't think McTominay would come to sit on the bench. Should he? He's doing that at Man U, so
Yeah.
He
gets some games from Man U.
He was their best player last year.
I don't know why they wanted to sell him.
I know, he's actually decent.
One of the best players.
I think he's Harry, me. He's unbelievable for Scotland now.
I'd take him as squad depth, but he is like a bit of a Longstaff replacement, isn't he?
He's a bit.
Yeah, I'm not really that bothered.
Sean McLongstaff. Waste of time. Scott McLongstaff. Right then, we're going to finish on this little quirky one because the Olympics begins this weekend over in Paris. So just for the crack, I haven't even put anyone in this. I'm just going to do it off the top of my head. And put in your comments as well. Who would win gold in what event from the Newcastle United team? So let's start off with just the old, 100-metre sprint keg. Just a sprint. Who's the fastest? It's got to be Gordon, isn't it?
Gordon.
Anthony Gordon for gold.
Like Isaac's quick. If Maxi was,
Tino's had some good runs, hasn't he?
Tino's runs. Quick, but yeah, I think...
Well, Maxi was,
Almiron, to be fair. Almiron's got some wheels on him.
Yeah, even in these 30s now, he's still got it on him.
Yeah, I think Gordon's probably got like the most like acceleration. So yeah, particularly in them like short bursts, like 100 meters. Yeah,
he'd be perfect for it, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Anthony Gordon for gold. We did see the team swimming out there in Germany. Adidas, Tonali with his official gear on. Eddie Howe showing them how to swim in our breaststroke and that. Who would win gold in the old swimsies?
The old breasty.
In the old breastaroony.
Who's got like the best physique? Because swimmers have got like Jack.
Murphy's
Jack.
Murphy's pretty jacked.
Maybe a Shaw.
Shaw, too old.
I
don't know. Who else is Jack?
Joey
could burst.
Maybe Joey's too big.
He's too big. He can sink, I think Jacob Murphy now because he's a good athletic look
and he's quick.
He's quick.
He's got like that fast.
He's doing some mad movements like on that outside the pool. But let's rattle through some other ones. And weightlifting. There's your Joelinton gold.
That's Joelinton.
Gold for Joelinton.
Also wrestling, boxing, all Joelinton.
Yeah.
What was that one?
Which one? I was saying Dan Burn for weightlifting as well.
Oh, right.
Unit. 3 fingers though. Could be getting away with that at the old
not the best.
Weight. There's some mad categories in the Olympics, by the way, now.
Surfing. More now, yeah. Surf. I think that was just the last one. Skateboarding as well. They were 2 of the new ones.
Skateboarding would be...
there's a couple of new ones coming
as well. Who's a bit of a hipster for skateboarding at the tune?
Flag football's coming in the next Olympics in 2028. American football.
Really?
Yeah, flag football. That's one of the new ones.
Where we're surfing. Who's it surfing?
Who's like... Yeah, a bit of a hipster coast kind of guy, like sort of like. I could maybe be Gordon.
I was going to say Gordon again because the hair and that in it, and he's dress sense and that. Yeah, Gordon. Hall. Aye. Yeah, I like them shouts. Shooting, Isaac. There you go. Goal for Isaac in shooting and archery, no doubt about it. Eddie Howe for rowing, mind. See him and Willick having the rowing race in the gym yesterday. We've given it his all on that one. What else we got? Golf. Well, yeah, all the footballers play golf, don't they? So,
who's the best one on the team?
Who's the best golfer on the team? I bet you they'd have a good argument about this. Obviously, we know Shearer's decent. Mm-hmm. He may come out of retirement for it. Yeah. We interviewed last year at Close House.
Golf.
Out the current team.
Handball, Nick Pope.
I like it.
Diving.
Nick
Pope.
No, who's good at diving? He's
Gordon.
Gordon again. Gordon's cleaning up, isn't he? So I was going to say cycling, not Gordon.
Not Gordon.
Not Gordon for cycling. No, not on the VLX.
Because he can ride one-handed eating an apple.
Aye. Tell you what, we're getting Shearer back for golf. We're getting Shola back for the cycling. Let's finish off on a couple more. Beach volleyball.
Artistic
got to be
gymnastics.
Bruno, beach volleyball.
Basketball, you said that someone was...
Basketball, John Ruddy was getting nothing but net. John Ruddy there. Boxing. Lascelles. He would be a good boxer, Jamal Lascelles.
Joey Barton,
aye. Let's say about him on the podcast. I bet we get banned now. Mention his name.
Basketball 3-on-3. That's a different one.
Get them all in.
Oh, I like that one. Artistic gymnastics.
Let's finish on an artistic gymnastics then. Who's getting gold for artistic gymnastics?
Someone who's mad athletic. That could be a Maxi. But current team, someone just mad athletic, just who can do like backflips and shit. It's just mad stuff.
Almiron would probably be pretty good. Nimble. What about midfielders we haven't talked about?
Lewis Miley's
Louis Mailey's good
slender.
shout. Louis Mailey's a great shout. Actually, gymnastics, aye. Like, a bit tall, but aye.
Young, flexible, slender body.
Right. No, I like it. I like it. We'll go with him. Let's see what you see in the chat. Tino, Kieran Dyer, Lee Boyer for boxing. I like it.
Class.
Cool. He's out there. He was in Germany. He's a shout now. No? Longstaff for something, people said. Gordon with his stabilizers on. Isaac for bowls. Golden Mountain BMX. Joe Willock. Sven for skateboarding. Very good shout. Sven Botman is a skateboarder. Yeah. Could definitely see that. Miggy's getting some shouts. J7 for weightlifting all day long. Dan Burns shot put. That's class. Shaw gets a gold in handsomeness. Certainly does. High jump. Why wasn't I suppose you had to click on the category of athletics. He's that in the high jump.
Yeah.
Willock, if he was fit in the high jump.
It's got to be maybe a tall one would maybe be the best, but yeah, definitely athletic. So probably not Burn, Isaac over Burn, Botman, Pope maybe. Pope's a good one because he dives.
Pope's
jumps,
a great one.
Tall, long. Yeah. Pope for high jump.
Barnes for javelin. I like it. And archery with the celebration.
Oh yeah, Burn.
One of them. There we go then. That rounded up a little random section at the end there.
I like it.
As the Olympic starts this weekend. So does the pre-season in full effect. We've had behind closed doors games. I'll be there down Hull City this Saturday to watch the Mags alongside another 4,500 travelling Toon Army. Can't wait for that. And then the jet off to Tokyo. We'll be back next Tuesday as always. Live at 7. And there will be in Japan at the time. We won't be. Wants to be here in crappy old Newcastle. But at least we'll be drinking some lovely beers. Can't get these in Japan, can you?
New black label cans.
Aye, some more mystery tinnies coming next week. Cheers for watching, everyone. Subscribe to the Mac by Channel TV and enjoy yourself.